At 5 a.m., the world was silent, but his life was screaming for change. While the city slept under warm blankets, a poor man sat awake in the dark, staring at a cracked ceiling, wondering how long a man could survive on hope alone. His name was Max. Max lived in a one-room apartment above a closed grocery store, where the smell of dust and old cardboard clung to the air like a memory that wouldn't leave. The walls were thin, the floor groaned under tired footsteps, and the small window looked out onto an alley filled with trash bags and flickering streetlights. Every night, Max came home exhausted, pockets nearly empty, shoulders heavy, carrying a quiet shame he never spoke about. He worked 2 jobs. One during the day loading boxes in a warehouse until his hands ached. Another at night cleaning office floors that shined brighter than his future. People walked past him every day without noticing. To the world, Max was just another worker. To himself, he was a man slowly losing faith in who he could become. Most nights, he collapsed into bed after midnight. Most mornings, he woke up late, rushed, angry, already behind. Life felt like an endless chase where he was always out of breath. Bills stacked on a small table. Dreams stayed locked inside him, untouched. Because survival didn't leave space for dreaming. One night, after another day of exhaustion and quiet disappointment, Max sat on the edge of his bed with his head in his hands. His phone buzzed, rent due in 3 days. He let out a weak laugh, the kind that comes when tears are too tired to fall. That night, sleep didn't come easily. At 4:58 a.m., his eyes opened. No alarm. No noise. Just stillness. He lay there, listening. No traffic. No voices. No demands. For the first time in years, the world wasn't asking anything from him. The darkness felt calm instead of cruel. He checked the time. 5 a.m. A small voice rose inside him, hesitant but clear. What if I didn't go back to sleep? Max sat up. He didn't know why, but something felt different. For the first time in a long time, he felt control. He made his bed slowly, drank a glass of water, pulled on a jacket and stepped outside into the cold morning air. The sky was deep blue, the street empty, the city breathing quietly. He started walking. No destination. Just movement. His breath formed clouds in front of him. With every step, his mind felt lighter. By the time the sun began to rise, something had shifted. Nothing in his life had changed yet, but something inside him had. Later that day, exhausted but strangely energized, Max noticed an old man sitting on a bench near the warehouse entrance. The man was there every morning after that. Same coat. Same thermos. Same calm presence before sunrise. One morning, Max nodded. The man nodded back. The next morning, they spoke. "You're up early," the man said with a gentle smile. "So are you," Max replied. The old man chuckled. "Early mornings saved my life." Those words followed Max through the entire day. From that point on, Max began waking up at 5 a.m. on purpose. Not perfectly. Some mornings he failed. Some mornings his body begged him to quit. But he kept returning to that quiet hour when the world was still asleep and his excuses had nowhere to hide. At 5 a.m., he read borrowed books. At 5 a.m., he learned new skills on an old phone using free Wi-Fi from a cafe across the street. At 5 a.m., he wrote goals on scrap paper because he couldn't afford notebooks. At 5 a.m., he exercised in an empty park, using benches as weights and discipline as fuel. He stopped giving his best energy to jobs that didn't care about him. He started giving it to himself. The old man became a silent mentor. Some mornings they talked. Some mornings they simply sat in silence. One morning, the man said something Max would never forget. "Discipline feels heavy at first," he said, staring at the sunrise. "But regret weighs more." Weeks passed. Max's body changed. His posture changed. His eyes carried purpose instead of defeat. He was still poor, but he was no longer powerless. He applied for a better position at the warehouse. He failed the first time. Then the second. On the third attempt, the manager paused. "You're consistent," the manager said. "You always show up early." Max smiled quietly. He had been showing up early for months, just not where anyone noticed. Months later, Max moved out of that one-room apartment. Not into luxury. Not into comfort. But into progress. He reduced his night shifts. He saved. He learned. He built. And it all traced back to one quiet decision made at 5 a.m. Years later, Max still woke up early. Not because he had to, but because he remembered who he used to be. A man trapped in cycles. A man waiting for life to change first. The power of 5 a.m. was never about the clock. It was about choosing yourself before the world chooses for you. If you're tired of being behind, if you feel invisible, if your dreams keep getting postponed, wake up earlier than your excuses. Give yourself one quiet hour when the world can't interrupt you. 1 hour to build the life you keep saying you want. Destiny doesn't knock loudly. Sometimes, it whispers at 5 o'clock in the morning.